Trip to Manila to meet my Filipina, Part 6. So far, we've driven from Manila to 100 islands. And we've had dinner, and now, to pick back up on the story, we saw a beautiful, beautiful sunset, and we have a place rented to stay for the night. And now it's time to think about maybe getting a bath. It's been a long day's drive, and now I'm gonna have to reveal some more of my toughness to Pinky. She hasn't seen much of what I have to do to get around, and you know, I had a subscriber ask me a question. You make it look so easy to travel being a paraplegic in a wheelchair. That's not true. This night Pinky experienced something that she was going to be experiencing a lot of from now on. What I'll go through to be able to travel. And sometimes it's not fun, sometimes it's not easy. Well, I was able to get in the door of the room we had rented, but the bathroom door is like half as wide as my wheelchair, and I need a bath, so I get creative. I found a plastic lawn chair, I parked it right in the front of the door to the bathroom, and I transferred onto that lawn chair, and I physically scooted myself into the little tiny bathroom, and I took a shower. Scooted myself back out to the door, put a towel on me, and I got back on my wheelchair and went over to the bed and proceeded to get dressed. And I hid myself the best I could, but she also got a good taste of what it's like to be me and what I go through and what I'm willing to go through to travel. And after a very, very long day, slept like a baby. Woke up early the next morning, and we took off and found something for breakfast. And then we explored around the town. I guess the town was called 100 Islands, but we saw some really beautiful things. Nice trees growing along the edge of the water, all these beautiful boats that they take people for tours. And all the sights were just beautiful around there. We went into a little museum and saw a bamboo organ. Pinky posed for me in front of a map of the 100 Islands. We went down to the waterfront and tried to rent a boat to take for a boat ride around 100 Islands, but it didn't seem like any of them could accommodate me, and they all looked very skinny, narrow, and really difficult to get in and out of. So we decided to just pack up, get back on the road, and start seeing some more beauty of the countryside. The scenery I was experiencing was absolutely breathtaking. Everywhere we went, it was just like total adventure. Everything I saw was just beautiful, was different than anything I'd ever seen before. The countryside, the animals, everything, the people, and it was just an amazing, amazing drive. And Pinky spotted a pile of coconuts along the side of the road, and she said, "Have you ever had a fresh buko?" And I said, "What's a buko?" So she figured out, well, I guess you haven't had a fresh buko before, so she pulled over, and when she got out of the car, I saw her looking at them all and picking out a couple of them that she thought were good. Then all of a sudden there's a guy hacking on them with a machete, and she brings me over a whole buko coconut, and it was fresh, and it's different than anything I'd ever had before. When you have one of these great big green Philippine coconuts, they have really, really soft meat, and so the first thing they do is they pour the fluid out of the middle in a glass for you, and then they hand you the coconut with a spoon, and you scrape out the really soft, wonderful, delicious meat inside, and it's I don't know what to compare it to. It's got a very soft texture, and it's absolutely delicious. And I'm sitting here listening to Pinky explain to me how it's good for your urinary tract system and your stomach and everything, and I'm thinking, wow, why haven't I ever heard of this before? Absolutely delicious, very, very, very good. And after that adventure, we head on back down the highway, and we saw a sign that led off a different direction, and before you know it, we're going up these really, really steep mountain hills. This road got steeper than any road I've ever been on in my life. And I went up and up and up, and I'm thinking to myself, man, if something happened to the car or the brakes went out or something, you'd be in some serious trouble. And then all of a sudden, we're come driving into this beautiful city of Baguio. And Baguio is the highest elevation city of any cities in all of the Philippines. And it felt to me like Oregon. There was a light sprinkle when we got there, and the town was built on steep mountainsides, and it was cool. It was cooler than any place I've ever been. It felt like Oregon weather. It was rainy, but it felt like it was only like 55 or 60 degrees, and it was just beautiful, an incredible city. By now we'd been gone almost all day yesterday, over the night, and now it was a good chunk of today that we've been missing from Manila, and I decided, you know what, I better get her back home. I don't want to flare too much anger up over this. I don't want to make any enemies, but I do want to spend as much time with her as I can, because we're planning on getting married. We need to get adjusted and make sure we're doing the right thing. Well, so it's time to head back down the mountain. We passed by the big lion that's on the entrance to Baguio City, and down the mountain we go back to Manila to face the music, get Pinky back to work, and get me back into my routine of what I was doing in the daytime while she's working, and let things soak in a little bit before we confront the relatives and let them know what we're doing for sure. And the next video I'll continue the story. Thanks a lot for coming along with me on this one, and I hope you stick with me. I'd like to tell my whole story to you. Thanks a lot for coming along. Have a great day. Bye-bye.